bang, bang,
It
bang.
wasn't the way they raised me. Open up towns like Th3, better than that all red paisley. Shit going crazy. Dropping your knees, your bitches they praise me. Dirty to dance and bitches are swayzy. Drummers like Sway Lee. Bitch, I'm the baby. Heard the babies and truck a Mercedes. Tell me who started the wave. This is the science to argue with slaves. To part in your grave. Open the season. Open the season. Quarter the gallon of water we selling. Spitting out seeds to water the melons. Sort of the felons. Going to sleep. Making the money, we order the selling. Order the culture, more the melons. Play fair. Take K for the throne like Wayfair.
To this day.
Dimensional warfare.
To this day.
Lost on Rikers. Sticking the Uzi and lining like all diamonds. All ciphers. The boxing and fight for. The start of the fiscal. The dark of the crystal. Bullet with amethyst. Dark of the pistols. Start of the shit show.
To this day. To this day.
Sweet of the licorice. Speaking on niggerish. Read some nigga ish. Ride of the Valkyries, ride of the alchemy, rise of the alpha, omega the alchemy, wing of the Horus, rise of the Valkyrie, glide off the balcony, rise of the Valkyrie.
I do a hot box in the car with a cop's box. Scotch, make a cop with a hopscotch. He gon' pop rock, he gon' wiggly rock pop, he gon' hippity hop hop. This is John Hop when I circle the dot, turn the shirt to a crop top or a tank top, like the top of a tank car. I'ma aim it and bank shot, take the same clock that they shot when they slave pop. I'ma shoot at a state spot. Put your leg in a leg lock, make it break like an egg drop. When the rain drops, I be dodging the raindrops. In the winter, I stay hot.
To this day.
I am a bad man.
To this
I
day.
got hashtag scam. You throw a punch, I'm gonna duck. You see a black backhand, I let a cat clap. Hard as a fat shack slam. If a nigga owe me money, I pull up on him in a matte black van.
Sweet of the licorice. Speaking on niggerish. Read some nigga ish. Ride of the Valkyries, ride of the alchemy, rise of the alpha, omega the alchemy, wing of the Horus, rise of the Valkyrie, glide off the balcony, rise of the Valkyries.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. That is Ride of the Valkyries. Ride of the Valkyries featuring Cambada. That is off the Red Summer album. All right. Shout out to everybody that copped the Red Summer album all of last week. It's getting a resurgent in the charts. I guess after a lot of people saw that Red Moon a few weeks ago, they was like, oh, nah, let me go and get this album because this nigga's out here forecasting the weather. But peace to everybody. Peace to you and yours. Welcome to another episode of Th3Rd Thursday. You are now rocking with the best. Yes, this is your host for the evening, Brother Red Pill. And yeah, we're going to be getting into some things. I'm not going to have y'all here all night because, to be honest with you, keep it 1,000. I'm going to make some time to pull up to the Kanye album release thing. You know, it's not going to start on time per se, but I'm going to make sure I catch that, you know. So we're going to chop it up, but we got some time. You know what I mean? We got some time. We got some time, you know. Let me do a quick roll call to see who's in the building, and then we're going to chop it up. Yeah, do y'all hear that right there? Let me know if y'all hear the sound effects, because I was listening to a previous show and I was dropping mad gems, and then I'm pressing a button and I'm thinking that the shit is about to go off, and on the replay I didn't hear the bombs. All right, so we got Colorado, we got Lauderdale in the building. You feel me? We got Denver in the building. Shout out to Denver. Shout out to Lauderdale, Colorado. Houston in the building. Akron, Ohio in the building. ATL from the BX in the building. San Antonio, Texas. Carolina up in this thing. Detroit up in this thing. Nova, DMV, Pittsburgh, Uganda in this thing. Denver's in here. Lafayette, Lafayette, Louisiana, my bad, is in this thing. Vegas is up in this thing. Staten Island. Philly is here. Jersey, Northwest Georgia. All right. Resident of the Cosmo by way of Chicago. I like that. Fort Wayne, Indiana. Beaumont, Texas. I'm talking about Fresno, California. Somebody said the old Harlem, 114th and 7th. I feel you on that. That's that old Harlem. Minneapolis, St. Paul, Saturn, Charlotte, Smyrna, Greensboro, Dexter, Detroit, Chi-Town, East Tampa, Boston, Grand Rapids. All right. I see everybody in the building. Salute to all of the family that's here. Greetings. Good evening. Welcome back. If you're here for the first time, salute, make yourself welcome. Hit the subscribe button. Clinton Hill is up in. Oh, shout out to Clinton Hill, somewhere that I used to live. You know what I mean? Where legends live, where legends either live or have once lived. Detroit in the building, Central California, Milwaukee, Austin, Texas. Yeah. So we're gonna have we're gonna continue the conversation that we've started about 2 weeks ago. And the conversation that I started was something of a stream of consciousness, is what I would like to call it. And I named it When in Rome. I did a lecture with Blue Pill entitled Emancipation Ain't Free. Coincidentally enough, this lecture and the title, Emancipation Ain't Free, right? How's my audio sound? Is it clear? Because I'm getting I don't know if I get the feedback. I don't hear it loud enough in my ears. Just might be me on my side. But I'm very meticulous about audio. That's important, as you can see, right? Audio is the order of the day. So coincidentally enough, me and Blue Pill got booked in Kentucky, Louisiana, right? Home of Muhammad Ali. And it was on Emancipation weekend, right? Matter of fact, let me pull up the flyer, my friends. There goes the flyer, right? For Juneteenth, Knowledge Fest, Styles P from the Locks.
To this day.
You know I'm talking about?
To this day.
Boyce Watkins. You know I'm talking about? Sabir Bey and Red and Blue. Right? We weren't because of timing and some other we wasn't able to fully do our lecture, me and Blue. So we was like, you know what? We're just gonna take it online and whatnot and deliver it to the family online. Boom. So the name of the title, the title of the lecture was in Emancipation Ain't Free, right? And in Emancipation Ain't Free, we began, we established a narrative dealing with the concept of freedom, right? First of all, completely debunking and, giving an educational outlook on what emancipation is and why Emancipation Day, even being recognized as a federal holiday, is another complete farce. And the many complete farces that they're just, it's, that there's a farcity taking place. These niggas are playing for farcity. And there's a lot of farces being thrown our way, and that's just one of them. So as soon as we did that lecture, I began research on another lecture entitled Fear of a Black or More Messiah, right? And in that lecture, it led me to doing research to begin this next lecture, which is really like a dissertation. It's an ongoing narrative, an ongoing stream of consciousness and conversation called When in Rome. And When in Rome focuses on the fact that I'm identifying and I'm pointing out and I'm showing the evidence hidden in plain sight. And I really, like I said, I'm just getting started. We didn't even get into the esoteric, the occultic aspect of it all. We didn't even get into the metaphysics of it. We just really scratching the surface. Last week I drawed in Melanin Monday. I showed how the quote unquote heads of the Alphabet organization, the Alphabet organization that wields a lot of power in the industry and the same alphabet organization that operates as a machine in order to thwart and confuse people's freedom of speech, amongst other things. And I showed through some research that the top or the head of the snake or the top 10 places where this lifestyle is, considered to be the way of life, all of these places happen to be offshoots of Rome, right? And not only that, we were also able to see that this Roman machine is attached to everything that's attached to the industry. It's all one cabal. And then in the same thing, in the same breath, we was also talking about, the war on hyper masculinity as an offshoot of a culture war, right? A culture war, right? We've been having culture wars with culture vultures and people who are out here trying to dictate what our culture is supposed to be, you know, and bend it and quote unquote, rewrite it to their liking. We've been having culture wars in every single generation from our great grandparents. We've been having culture wars. The newest culture war is the eradication and the removal and almost the quote unquote, I won't even say the shame, the quote unquote the criminalization of a certain archetype in the not only in the industry of the music industry, but the sports industry, the entertainment industry by way of Hollywood. This archetype that I speak of is the hypermasculine archetype. This archetype is an archetype that the white fragilicist and the quote unquote intersectionalist and other people in cancel culture and also other agents of Rome, agents of chaos, right? Agents of confusion, agents of the evils living backwards. These people fingerprints is always all over everything. This is everything that we could find to be detrimental. These agents have been attacking an archetype inside of the industry for many years now. It just didn't start. The baby is not somebody who we could single out and be like, oh, look at what they doing to him. He's an archetype of what you're seeing right now. If we were to translate this through they said they had oxtail Twitter. Well, if we were to translate this through Chitlin's Twitter, this would be the buck getting whooped in the front of the in front of all of the slaves. A buck who they helped to handpick and blow up. You know what I mean? They had him. They was moving him from plantation to plantation, and he was their prize. They had him on display. You feel me? They had the baby on the baby. Look at the irony in the whole thing. That you find the world. Where's the world at in 2021 where they have to correct a grown man called the baby? And people have fake outrage that they're surprised that the baby says something offensive to human beings. You know what I mean? The fact that there's a man called the baby, right? And they're like, yo, he said something offensive to the gay community and the people with AIDS and whatnot. But this man is called the baby. What you this nigga will wear diapers around you. It went beyond just calling somebody a grown man. Yo, Lil Herbert, little Qbert. Excuse me, sir. You're about to come on. All right, we're having the 50th celebration of the of Rolling Loud. You know, we're gonna bring on little insulin. This nigga is now 88 years old, and I still have to call him little fucking you know what I mean? Little hovercraft. I don't know. It's 8,000 of these niggas on Spotify. That's a super fact. Go and do your research. I didn't make that up. And that was years ago when I did that research. It's 8,000 plus. So you got to call these men Lil even when they get salt and pepper and whatnot. That's crazy. But the baby is being publicly flogged. He's being publicly whipped. He's gonna be on a Nick Cannon tour any minute now. He's already on the tour. They already made the first advance. He's now playing. He's sitting at the table. He's just sitting at the table playing chess on 3 levels right now. They have him. The minute he apologized, you're in the game. They established jurisdiction over you. The minute he apologized, boop, it's time to play chess with the nigga. It's time for the twerker. It's time for the twerker. The minute you apologize, this is, remember, put yourself in Bobby Fischer's shoes for a minute. This is chess, not checkers. This is how they play it. When that's why you have to operate, you have to speak through your publicist. That's why this business is set up the way that it is, nigga. It's a way to do it. You ever seen them spank a publicist? They spank the artist for getting out of line. You're not supposed to talk through without talking through a filter. The filter is the publicist. You can't tweet on your own if you're a pop star. It wasn't about what he said on the stage. It was the response that he didn't utilize without the publicist. They couldn't hold that over his head for what he said to hype the crowd up. That wasn't supposed to grow legs. Yeah, it's time for the twerker. They got him twerking now. He's on a Nick Cannon tour. They're gonna slow the bags up. They're gonna slow the bank up. They're gonna stop up the bank. Right? They dried up the festivals. He was the most booked artist next to Meg Thee Stallion this year. And he was headlining everything. That's what I'm saying. He's not a regular artist. He was the top baby in hip hop, right? After watching what Jada and them did with the Dipset, the top artist who was the most booked is, and this is nothing to take away from this man, but this is where the industry is in 2021. This is to show you that a lot of shit is created, bro. A lot of things is like, these artists, they have what they have. They have catchy songs and they got hits and whatnot. But, this industry is controlled. The top artist is the baby. They ran out of babies too. He could have just been regular baby. He just could have been like big, you know what I mean? He could have been big baby. He can't be little baby. That's taken. He can't be baby with the Y. That's taken. He can't be the baby with the 2 E's. That's taken. So he had to be the baby. And now they got this nigga looking the craziest. They got him looking the craziest. So they're playing chess with him. They're gonna use him to come up. They're gonna make certain people famous off of his back. And he's gonna have to do something real strange for a piece of change, even to get back into the building with them. The furthest they'll take him is drop him from his label. You know what I mean? If that happens, then you already know that they fired a missile in the culture war, and it won't stop with him. They're gonna clean these niggas up. It will not. The fact that it just started, it will not stop from this point on. These niggas are gonna push forward with their campaign to do their best to make a certain archetype undesirable in the industry, to where is the only way you're gonna eat is on a Locks tour, my nigga. You're gonna be on a Locks tour. They trying to send these niggas back to road shows. Where did Jamaica fly at? He gonna be in the side of he gonna be in Jamaican towns on the highway on the side, where they have where they have all of the fucking all white parties, the white and denim parties and shit for the Jamaicans. They sending the baby back to the road shows. Shit crazy. But look, let me do this real quick, because I could be here talking all day, and we will not be here talking all day, because like I said a minute ago, I got an appointment with my nigga Yay. One thing about these moments in hip hop, I don't miss them. I don't know about you, but I take advantage of these moments, because this is my, you know what I mean? This shit is connected. Like this has a lot to do with the upbringing. You know, I swore I was in a tunnel the other night for a minute or two. And that was very therapeutic, to be honest with you. You know what I'm talking about? That was very therapeutic. You know, you get to measure how far you've come when you remember shit that you was into when you hear that music. You're like, yeah, I was really on one, bro. D Block. D Block. Somebody say he gonna end up with a charge. Yeah, when it comes to the baby, the way that I see them lining him up, he already have a lot of legal trouble. They're gonna finish him off like they did the likes of a few artists that they couldn't completely control, or they probably are done with their with some of the control that they have because they moving on to a whole new crop of artists, a whole new crop of artists, and these artists is gonna listen. These artists are gonna they're gonna play the game the way that it's supposed to be played. They have more of an investment in that shit than some of these artists that are loose. Some of these artists that I'm talking about, they got relationships with the heads of these labels and shit like that. Like they're in, they're tied in, a whole nother type of way. A whole nother type of way. Let me see something. Trying to pull up this keynote. Hold on. Yeah, but y'all all right out there? Just give me 1 minute there. The game wouldn't be the same without the locks. That locks versus had that old New York energy. Did it ever? Yeah, that had that good, and somebody was like, because when people are not used to a certain type of New York energy, they might have seen everybody on stage, talking shit to each other and whatnot. They might have been like, "Oh, something is about to pop off," not realizing, nigga, that's New York. That's classic dysfunctional New York. Like, nigga, that's how New York is. You can't let that get you. You can't let that shake you up. Don't run out the building. Just be easy, relax. You know what I mean? We got this. But yeah, that was definitely one for the record books. It showed me New York music has a life, you know what I mean? It has a life to it. You know what I'm talking about? A lot of people said the music is dead. Nobody want to hear that shit. No, there's a big fucking market, bro. There's a big market for that. It's just that, there's a certain type of artist that they're going to be showing up to look for. Very important was shown, a staggering disparity that you were able to see. The health is wealth, when it all boils down to it. And I don't want to be all preachy and whatnot, but this is for the artists that are out here abusing themselves right now at a young age. These are for the people who are, not necessarily taking care of themselves and not practicing the first law, right? Even with the resources that they have, even with the quote unquote dispendable income that they have, even with the access that they have, even with the time and the freedom that they have at this juncture, because you don't know what tomorrow will bring. If you're not utilizing all of that to set yourself up to extend your life another 30 to 40, my friend, and I'm telling you this just because of experience, because I made it this far, you are hustling backwards. You out of your fucking mind. You know what I'm talking about, nigga? You done bumped your head. Jules Santana. You bumped your head, Jules Santana. How you the youngest nigga out of everybody? You look the oldest. You know? The reason why you saw those three men put on a show like that is because fitness is number one for them. Styles P is a vegan. He got a whole juice bar. Jada is on a vegan diet as well. He takes care of himself. They do pull-ups and shit like that. And of course, you look at Sheik Luch, he's not just sitting around, you know what I mean, letting the pounds pile up. He's working out as well. So you see physical fitness. You see the fact that whatever drugs that they were on, it wasn't heavy chemicals because the brothers still look like, you know what I mean, how they looked when they came out in the 90s. These are 90s artists, my nigga. These are 90s artists. These are 90s artists. We're just burying a plethora of artists like DMX, Black Rob, Biz Markie, a brother from Ecstasy from Houdini. So theoretically speaking, our our OGs are supposed to be looking washed. They're not supposed to be on top of their game, and nobody cares and nobody wants to hear from them. This is what real OGs are about. This is how real OGs show up. This is what they ask for when they say, "Yo, we need the OGs to step up." What you saw displayed the other night, that's what the OGs is about. To show statescraft, to show perfection in your craft, to show that you age like fine wine, right? To show the niggas coming behind you how to fucking do it. You lay the blueprint, nigga. That's what an OG is. That's what an OG is. Somebody said the sound is low. You said the sound is low. Shock G, Prince Marky D, Fife Dog, MF Doom. These are health issues that I'm calling out, my friends. Right? So a push should, yeah, Cam look great for his age. The Dipset, you know, they stay in shape. Jim is always in the gym. Jim Jones is about fitness as well. You feel me? They're about that as well. They're not helping to perpetuate, you know, a certain type of lifestyle that we could deem as OGs and whatnot as an unhealthy lifestyle. The kudos that I could share that's most important to me at the end of the day, to be honest with you, you know, you could rap about a lot of things, but when we look at you and what you really about is taking running, you know, changing up food deserts and feeding your people and getting about health and being, you know, and making that shit cool. I mean, who am I to judge, bro? The reason why I say that Styles P is the MVP, and the reason why the reason why the Locks win was so important is because of the narrative Styles P established in the last 2 months, ever since the Kentucky lecture. When he came back from that lecture and he did the gram, he did a live, right? And I'm probably gonna show you. Matter of fact, let's take let's take a trip down memory lane and whatnot. My keynote thing is not popping up, so we might I don't know if I'll be able to do that tonight. You know what I'm talking about? We might just have to do that tomorrow or another day, you know. But I'll take you on the gram and I'll show you when he was giving it up a few weeks ago. And the shit that he said, you got to understand what I'm talking about. This is what this game is about. This game is about, and when we talk about lyric reform and we talk about the Black Messiahs, and when we talk about the fact that the rappers from the tunnel era are responsible for changing things, what I mean is this. When it comes to a group like the Locks, right? Instead of talking about Dipset, not Dipset right now, the Locks who came before the Dipset, When a Dipset was thinking about rhyming and sitting down writing rhymes, they was listening to Clue tapes and the Locks was on it. You dig what I'm saying? So when we talk about people who have wrote in the when we talk about the architect of the code, people who wrote the code, what we're identifying is the people who are the quote unquote progenitors of certain type of lifestyles. Who are the MCs who laid down the groundwork? Who are the MCs who came through and crushed this shit and really put this type of lifestyle in the minds of the people who were listening to their music and whatnot? Those are the OGs. Those are the people with the fingerprints on the game who we focus on influencing and saying, yo, we want if these people change and they are, you know, if they change their mind, if they change their lifestyle, if they change the way that they moving and things of that nature, and they put it out there, it's going to affect in a positive way the people who they influence. It's a ripple effect. It's different than if the Dipsets started saying, you know what, I want to care about my community. I want this, you know, the OGs and whatnot. Y'all leading the kids astray. Right here, go right here. Damn, I had to go mad far. Listen to this. Tell me if you can hear it.
For the young G's out there, I don't care what you are, man. Neutral, Blood, Crip, MS-13, Trinidarios, Triad, Italian mob, Polish mob, Russian mob, Jewish mob, whatever the fuck you are, it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna tell you something right now. A lot of y'all are getting a lot of things confused and you're always fucked you up. You don't have enough clarity on what's going on. Let me explain something.
Wait, hold on.
A regular citizen who has not broken the code, does not live a life of crime, is not an everyday criminal, is not a snitch.
Hold on.
Expect them people to call the cops.
Okay, my bad.
What sent you in, nigga? If a regular citizen is not
Well, make a long story short, this nigga was spazzing. You know what I'm talking about? He was spazzing. He was spazzing on the gang members. He was spazzing on gang leaders. He was spazzing on gang culture. He was spazzing on niggas in the community. He been spazzing. He spazzed on Jim Jones with the whole, yo, you too old to be pushing this rhetoric. This is really his OG in a sense. And then after the battle in Madison Square Garden with him and Kiss and Style, I mean Sheik, they solidified their OG status. When the OGs talk, you have to listen, especially if they're living off of experience. When the OGs come through to straighten you up, you got to get straightened up. So he been going in and whatnot. He been going in, so it was important that he did not lose. Right? On Melanin Monday show, I was sharing and I was breaking it down that the definition of hypermasculinity, right? It fit a group like the Locks, real tight, real snug. You know, it was a skin that fit perfectly on their persona. Because keep in mind, we're talking about archetypes and personas. Everybody knows that these are artists who are in a craft and who are utilizing their art and their craft, right, to make a way. Nobody's expecting Jada Kiss to be a kingpin that has mad plugs with the Mexicans. Nobody's expecting Styles P to be a serial murderer and whatnot. We accepted the fact that they play a role the same way that the brother Sheik had Red Fox on his t-shirt. The same way that Red Fox was playing a role when he was doing his acting and whatnot. These are MCs, these are artists, these are entertainers. D Block. But underneath it all, they still maintain a persona and they represent a certain archetype. That archetype is almost extinct in places like, you know, the new New York, right? In places like the new New York. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know about in the new New York, archetypes such as what you saw with the locks, that street type of persona, you know, just real nigga shit. Like, you know, just really, really in the hood and you know, you about what you about. Yeah. That's under attack. You know, what they're pushing in the industry and what they're co-signing and what these festivals are low key helping to shape and mold, right? Is the image of our people, you know, and almost on the opposite spectrum of what D Block represents, to be honest with you, because I watched Rolling Loud and damn near they had no requirements for the artists to rhyme without using their vocals. They didn't push that at all, right? So they're really not even pushing real rap like that. They're putting not real hip hop. They're pushing rap, right? And there's nothing wrong with that at all. We're just identifying and we're just, you know, categorizing what it is. That's all we're doing. We're categorizing what it is. That's a rap concert. You know what I mean? What the Locks does, that's hip hop. They are hip hop artists. These are MCs, micro masters of ceremony, right? Every artist should aspire to reach that level in this video game that we're playing and whatnot. I see a lot of people out here wanting to rap now all of a sudden. There should be a bar, and that bar was set the other night. That bar is gonna help. Shout out to my bartenders. That bar is gonna help a lot of these young artists reach a certain level. That bar is gonna help even the Dipset get their shit together. Because if they don't, like Max B said, if the bitch can't swim, she gonna drown. If they can't swim this one, they gonna drown. Because there was a glaring difference in the music we were listening to the other night, even in lyrics and even in content. They don't have the type of content. They need grown man bars, something you got to deal with. That was different. The way that this boy Jada puts his bars together, Styles and Chic, who they thought was gonna be the weak link, but came to show out, and he wound up being the you know, he wound up being the goddamn the wild card. You know, so you know, very very instrumental battle right there, helping to establish something that is very important, even if you don't listen to hip hop, but bars and craftsmanship, you know, and the fact that, you know, a certain type of archetype, a certain type of quote unquote archetype is allowed to still exist, you know. Cam is also not quite the leader Jada is. Well, for people coming up in the hood, you got to see the glaring differences because everybody is faced with, you know, not everybody, but a lot of people are faced with these type of characters in their lives. You know, everything that glitters is not gold. You know what I'm talking about? Everything that glitters is not gold. So they thought that the Dipset train with all of the flashiness and that's a lot of mall jewelry, my niggas. You know what I'm talking about? Everything that glitters is not gold. You know, that's a lot of mall jewelry mixed in with some real shit. And when you looked at what my boys was dealing with the locks, they showed you in their drip from the middle of Tarjay, my nigga. You know what I mean? It wasn't no labels. They wasn't worrying about labels. You know what I'm talking about? They was there to work. You know, there's certain bosses and leaders out there, and they move like Cameron moves. You could tell that he's a leader, but he's about himself. He's the nigga from what's this Amazon show, The Boys? He's Homelander. You know what I'm talking about? It's because remember, the difference between the locks and the difference between Cameron and the Dipsets is that Cameron came in as an artist all by himself at first. Jimmy was his man's and whatnot, but he wasn't a rapper like that. And then Jewels came later on. Cam got signed. Cam got on. That's Mace's homeboy. You feel me? And Cam brought Jimmy with him. The locks came in the door. All three of them was rapping, and nobody was the third. And they was doing it as, you know what I mean? Even with the glareable differences in styles and whatnot, and the the advantage that Jada has with the voice and the pen, everybody still was acting like they was equals, right? Once Jim started rhyming, it's been I gotta prove to these niggas that I'm a rapper ever since then, in a sense. And then Jewels, he suffered as the middle child. You know what I'm talking about? He suffered through that. And then let's not even talk about all of the undeveloped talent that was a part of the roster. Unkasa, J Rada, Hell Rel, and what Duke the God was doing with the mixtapes and whatnot, and how they revolutionized the quote unquote the game before 50 came and embodied it. It was the Dipset that turned that shit into a whole fucking grind. You know what I mean? They cleaned up that mixtape game and made that a bag. And then you see Max B and whatnot. He showed you how to really get a big bag off of being your own boss, off of being an owner and whatnot. So I'm them boys, LOX, whatever the industry has, because it's imagine living a life that Jada, Styles, and Sheik had to live, where you're unappreciated, and when niggas know that you nice, but because everybody ain't saying it, they not treating you like that. You're not getting to the bag. You have to really, how many years, how many decades they had to stand around and watch people of lesser quote unquote talent skip them in line and whatnot, and have to keep on being told, we're gonna acknowledge you. You niggas is gonna get the bag. We're gonna treat you way better than how we treat these garbage niggas. Just be patient. How long they been standing in line outside the club? So I'm glad that they finally getting to the bag, because something good is gonna come out of this quote unquote verses that they just did. They're gonna definitely shower these brothers, especially seeing what has happened with their look, Black Rob and DMX. You feel me? And when they came in, BIG, they've seen a lot of quote unquote people around them come and go, come and go. And I'm not talking about come and go like falling off. I'm talking about deaths, like people leaving this bitch. And you still got to be patient. You still got to be 10 toes down. You still got to deliver never a weak verse. Jada never delivered a weak verse, my nigga. If you could find it, let me hear it. And while they continue to do all of that, groups like the Dipset always, from what we've been hearing, have been struggling to get on the same page and to really be the type of set that they said that they are. You know? Yeah, them promoters got to cough up some bread. You know what I'm talking about? All of them promoters that spin all of them bands. We want real hip hop in the clubs now. You know what I'm talking about? We want real hip hop, no vocal tracks. We want classic hip hop. We want that feeling back. Look, man, if I wish I was a DJ, I would be out here killing it. You know, there's a certain type of party that the people need to hear, and the people that's running behind Funkmaster Flex trying to be his clone and all of these DJs that are neglecting a whole fucking era because of prejudices that they may have because of the bad boy era and the East Coast West Coast beef, on top of a few other things. I feel like it's the New York DJ's responsibility first and foremost, before anybody's responsibility. The New York DJ coalitions, the pools, all you niggas have lost your fucking way. I promise you. You know what I'm saying? You niggas have lost your way. You don't break artists. You don't keep it real to the boom bap, to the bars and whatnot. You dick ride all of these lists that these pools and whatnot that that flex spin dropping for. That's why when you go to the clubs, it all sound the same. Something got to change. You know what I mean? Bars is back. Stop playing. You know what I'm talking about? You niggas will get your Seratos taken from you. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we wilding out. You know what I'm talking about? Pull up summer, right? You know what I'm talking about? Music is at the top. We need our music back. We need bars back. We don't need no new artists, too many of them. We got classics. These catalogs is ringing. Fuck is you talking about? When the DJ was warming up, that nigga was ringing. I could go back to that era. Man, it's 1,000 flavors of weed these days. I gotta smoke each flavor, listening to a Clue tape, and some of this old school. I could dig it. I could dig it. Bars is back. Bars is back. Clean up a lot of that old shit, make it sound crispy. Bars is back, my nigga. Are you serious? Like I said before, and I keep saying it, nigga. We worth $1 trillion. Fuck you saying?
To this day.
Yeah, what you saying?
To this day.
What you saying? The culture's rich. Okay. We talk about lyric reform. The elders are growing up, and I can't ask for anything more than what Styles P demonstrated in the past few months. That's lyric reform. He casted a spell. I'm not going to break it down word for word, verbatim for you niggas, because, we get to stuff like that. But he's very effective. He's very effective. I was there. I remember when certain artists, him and Jada, they were very instrumental in painting that picture and helping to put that spell together that niggas got hypnotized by. It was those bars on them Clue tapes that had me want to sell all kind of bricks, all white bricks. You know what I'm talking about? I was ready. I was like, these niggas is giving me the feeling. You know what I'm talking about? They was giving me the feeling. But like all alchemists, because that's what we are. What the fuck is your hero's journey if it's not about taking base metal and turning it into gold? So however I started is not how I'm gonna finish. The shit that I started out doing, nigga, even the stuff that I was listening to, this when I listen to it now, it sound different because I'm moving different and I'm on different time. I'm a whole nother being. So the lyrics hit differently, and I could apply them where they need to be applied. You feel me? There's a war going on outside. No man is safe. I know how to use all kind of lyrics to my liking. I'm an alchemist. I'm turning base metal into gold. That's what Styles P is showing you. That's what Jadakiss is showing you. That's what Chic Luch. That's what Jim and Cam and Jewels are even attempting to show you. You turn your base metal into gold. We ain't here to cry over no spilt milk, nigga. This is Darth, nigga. This is Darth matter. You know what I mean? Like we tap into the dark energies. We tap into the chaos energy. We tap into that Hannibal Barker shit, nigga. When in Rome, I'm moving like Hannibal Barker. I'm moving like a Carthaginian. You know what I'm talking about? I'm climbing over. I'm moving like a gorilla, nigga. You know what I'm talking about? I'm moving like I'm riding on top of elephants on you niggas. I'm climbing over the Alps, gorilla style, like Beanie climbing over the audience to beat somebody up. That's how we gotta, I'm on that time. whilst in Rome though. You don't got to be on that energy all the time. But while I'm on that stage, it's showtime. They had the nigga, what's his name, Buffer from the boxing legends. So when I'm on that stage, like when they was on that, you see how New York is. The minute they heard lights, camera, and action, they put the show on. That was all that, you know, that was theatrics. But they had niggas very scared that something was about to happen. They know how to turn on immediately. You know? And then when the music started, because I'm talking about the shit talking at first, you know, that's that New York's, you know, that was a foreplay. They were warming you up. That was hood foreplay. You know what I'm saying? That was roughneck foreplay. Niggas start screaming at each other. You know what I'm talking about? That's hyper masculinity. You know what I mean? That's hyper masculinity. That's the heights of it. You know, they were tapping in. They was on their gorilla shit. That's classic New York dysfunction. Get used to it. Michael Buffer. And standing in this corner, hailing out of Yonkers, New York, I have the 3-man trio. I mean, you know, that's the voice right there, right? Yeah, they had the Popo on stage, but nobody even was paying attention to homie. Because if it was a Albion, I'm sure it would have looked a little more different. But homie was bopping with the shit too. You know what I mean? It's just New York. Like it don't matter if Popo's on stage. If it's gonna pop off, it's gonna pop off. Let's be clear. Like that. That's never gonna stop anything. It's never gonna stop anything. But they warmed it up, but then when the music started, they got into their professionalism and came to do what the people came to see. They're professionals. They've been doing this for many different tours. They started out with Biggie. This is the locks that I'm talking about. Yeah, Jim Jones fell off the stage when they was doing niggas that started something. If you ever heard that song in the garden, bro, whew, niggas done started something on that garden audio system. I know that shit flew, it tossed them off the stage. That's a whole vibe right there. I thought that they was gonna come out to that song because that was one of their first songs that they smashed the mixtape. That was their intro. That's when they made themselves be known to the hip hop world at the heights. Remember, they came in at the heights right before Biggie got killed. That them niggas popped in at the height of this whole golden era, tunnel era, mixtape Cluminati era. They came in '96 at the heights. Yeah, he didn't know the ledge. He fell off the ledge. He didn't know the ledge. We talked about that the other day. I guess you didn't know the ledge. You got to know the ledge. These niggas came in at the heights. Cameron came. He came at sort of at the heights, but Big already had got killed. It was just a different type of energy. These niggas came in at the heights, and they've been relevant ever since. And they got Grammys, like Son said, and they said the Dip said you niggas know about grams, Instagram, and them grams you smoking. We got Grammys. Shit different over here. Yeah, damn sure. It looked like he ran off the stage. You know how these niggas be diving at Lollapalooza and how your man can't even how he dived off the stage. Open up. How you gonna dive on your face? He didn't even shadow surf. He didn't even crowd surf. He was trying to crowd fun. Slip set, slip set. It was horrible. Jewel's lying on the floor and whatnot, looking horrible. What was he wearing? They lost just because they wasn't wearing the right fits. Why was Cameron in dark colors? It didn't even make sense. You know what I'm talking about? I could have let him hold one of my shades. What was he doing? Where's the pink at, my nigga? You know what I'm talking about? You didn't even set the mood. You supposed to be on Pink Panther time. You understand, brother? He wasn't even color coordinating. You couldn't even spot him in the crowd. Ah man, Jewels was looking great. Yo, family, don't do talk about I can't feel my face. If I see any one of you niggas around me sipping on lean and you niggas is fake drooling on yourself and acting like that you niggas bro, don't do it around me, bro. That's all I'm saying. That's some crazy shit right there, bro. That the shit that's happening to to these artists that are abusing themselves. And I know addiction is real, so I have to be mindful. I don't want to be callous in my nature. You know, I pray that everybody who has an addiction, finds a herb that's gonna help them break that addiction. Let's just put it out there like that. I pray that they find a herb or a healing modality because there's so many healers out here. You could get some Reiki done from long distance to cut the cords. You know, you could get some plants and whatnot, some twigs to chew on. Whatever it is that you have to do. I was looking at the Billie Holiday shit on Hulu, and that was real disturbing how they portrayed Billie Holiday. Like that was kind of it was cringeworthy. And then come to find out Lee Daniels was the director. I was like, no wonder. No wonder he was starting her out in the movie. He had a real jump off B, like a real dope fiend, a tag along, like a pass around. I was like, damn, who directed this? Come to find out, it's Lee Daniels. His track record is Precious, Monsters Ball. He does black trauma porn, you know. So the episode I was talking about hyper masculinity, and I was saying that the locks represented that almost to a T. And when we get to the legend of the Dipset and what they represented, they don't represent hyper masculinity. Now there's a thin line between homoerotica and hypermasculinity, even to the fact that when I was reading the definition for hypermasculinity, they was like, yo, that's a segment of gay art, you know what I mean? Where they have these over exaggerated body parts, right? Of black thugs, right? The same people that Ed Buck was getting with when he had them on methadone, when he was killing them in LA. The same people that Jeffrey Dahmer was out there seeking and whatnot and preying on. The same people who the baby allegedly was addressing when he made that statement that made them have that outroar and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? So when it came to what the Dipset represented as a group, right? With the swag, right? What does swag do though? What's the offshoot? What's the dangers of swagoo? What's the dangers of drip? What's the dangers of not being militant, right? What happened, and I explained to you this whole swag thing really came with Mace, and then Cam took it and made it a little more hood. He sprinkled more hood shit on it, and then niggas jumped on it, and then boom, we are where we at right now. To whereas Tyler the Creator had tweeted yesterday that he's turned on by Jadakiss because Jadakiss was so quote unquote in control on stage. That turns him on. This is what Tyler the Creator tweeted. Like, if you trolling B, now's not the time to do shit like that, because to be honest with you, you disrespecting OGs and whatnot, because that's not how niggas give it up. That's not how the OGs give it up. So even with the youth, you can't play games with your elders. You feel me? That don't show you no signs of them playing games with you. You play games with who's in the playground with you. There's too many people that's out here that's there for you to play with. Why would you go and play with a man that's not playing with you? That's what I'm saying. And there's nothing that you could say if somebody was to snap back at that. That's not a phobia. That's not hatred. That's not none of that. That's just a grown man saying, fam, why would you play with me like that? I don't give a fuck if that's how you feel. You keep that to yourself on some G shit. So going back to what I was saying about the drip set and the dip set and what they represented, these are archetypes that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about nobody personally. I don't know nobody personally. You know what I mean? I don't have no ponies in a race. I'm saying what it looks like from the outside looking in, because music artists fit a trope, the same way that movie actors and actresses, they fit a certain trope, right? They fit a certain trope. Either you're the Jezebel, you're the magical Negro, you're something at the label. You have to fit a trope. They're not signing anybody, and yet you don't fit into a quote unquote trope. You have to fit into a certain type of trope. Little Baby's trope would be the quote unquote buck. He would be the buck at the label. He would be the quote unquote buck. Throughout the history of hip hop, they've been very quote unquote, the record labels have sought after that quote unquote archetype, and they know what to do with that archetype as well. They've perfected what to do with that archetype and how to sell that archetype around the world, and how to make millions upon millions of dollars, and how to influence, brothers and sisters around the world with that archetype, and even how to pervert that archetype, how to use that archetype to where it looks like a quote unquote a stereotype, or how it will look like somebody is quote unquote making fun of themselves. You feel me? So the Dipset represented, the artist who was just basically, I love the craft, but I'm really here to get the bread. I want to floss. I'm gonna sell these drugs and whatnot. I'm gonna get my name up, and I'm gonna hop in the studio and we're gonna do some mixtapes. Now, this is where the mixtape and the record label got into. This is where the lines got blurred. Prior to the mixtape, if you were a hip hop artist, you were getting signed through the label. The label was introducing us to their artists through Video Music Box. They were breaking them through Video Music Box, and then through Yo MTV Raps and other avenues and platforms and things of that nature. There's no internet back then. There's only a few channels, and this is who they filter their quote unquote client. This is their roster. These are their clients, and they're filtering them through the quote unquote radio and also through video. With the mixtapes, now I don't need the record label. I could pop off. If I become a mixtape phenomenon, I'm signed to the streets. I don't need no A&R. I don't need no label. I don't need nobody telling me, this is how you put 16s together. I don't need none of that. I don't need none of that. So the artists began to pop off through the mixtape era, and that created this quote unquote rogue agent of an artist who is just like, yo, I don't really need to know the business. I just need to get this show money. I need to get this mixtape money. You know what I'm talking about? I need to get booked. I need recognition. I need these features and whatnot. And then it became a hustle. And then, one foot in the streets, one foot in, and anybody who's become anything worth something will tell you that you can't, quote unquote, be attracted and tapped into two egregores at the same time. You can't obey two gods, and you can't be 1 foot in and 1 foot out. It's either all feet in, all money in, or it's nothing. It's nothing. And this business is so demanding that you can't juggle it. In a sense, you have to be on this shit like a hawk. So much going on at once, so many things taking place. It's so, what as an artist and as a creator, what you're putting out is so important. It's so important. It's so monumental, but the artists don't get to see it like that. So, these artists over time, they begin to get controlled by the almighty dollar, of course. During the bad boy era, after the bad boy era, after Biggie dies, after Pac dies, and this whole shit goes pop off of the blood that they got spilled on them, was the ritual to make hip hop a household pop. Because remember, this nigga started doing R.I.P. songs with fucking Sting, and all of this other shit was going on. And then it made hip hop more of a household thing, but it was on the blood. It was the sacrifice. It was on the altar of these two powerhouses, the Twin Towers. They got clipped in the city of Los Angeles and in Las Vegas. Right? in that valley right there. They knocked down the towers. You feel me? They knocked down the towers. So the game ain't been the same since. And after they knocked them down, everybody started rhyming. Niggas was just electing themselves to be that nigga. Like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna sign myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna call myself the king of New York. You know, all of this shit was going on. Jay-Z was trying to establish himself and fit that hole that Biggie left. DMX was on the rise. There was a lot of shit going on, you know, and the whole art has somewhat changed to whereas these corporations understood that, you know, that the money could control certain things. And we talking payola. You know, we talking a bunch of shit that's dealing with this whole industry and how they stopped supporting real music and ignoring real music and marginalizing real music and refusing to even acknowledge real music. And they pushed a lot of that fabricated shit that wasn't real. You know what I mean? It was part of their quote unquote agenda. They had budgets to do that. So bars is back. I'm saying all of that to say bars is back. There is no more record industry in a sense. The new industry will be on the blockchain. The new industry will be in the metaverse. You know, these artists is gonna turn it up, you know, and everybody that's out there, as you can see, build your catalog up, work on your craft, perfect your craft, treat your craft like it's magical. Treat your craft like, you know what I'm saying, like Houdini treated his craft. Perfect that shit. There's no limit. There's no roof to the perfection of what you could do with your craft. But you saw a glaring example of what it looks like being perfected and what it looks like being imperfect. If you are a part of a team, I would highly suggest if y'all nigga if you have made a pledge to take this shit somewhere where it never went. I don't care about what's going on. As you can see with the locks, I'm sure that they had their discrepancies over time and they bump heads. But the fact that they were able to work it out and they never went to social media, right? They never had to deal with that type of exposure and whatnot. And they were able to work it out and continue to stand strong as brothers, as teammates, as quote unquote, my brother's keepers. That is the key to the longevity. That's the key to the motherfucking prize. That's the key to, that's the cheat code. I promise you. Camaraderie, loyalty, patience. You feel me? Discipline, right? Courage. That's important. That's very important. That's something that comes with alpha masculinity. This sometimes could be exaggerated as hyper masculinity because we are lions, but we're inside of a fucking zoo. You know what I'm talking about? So we're not in the quote unquote wild. We're not in the wild, but we're in a zoo and we still have to tap into our primal force. We still have to tap into our primal nature. We still have to kill or be killed in some situations. You feel me? But the alpha male, the alpha mind, the hyper masculine black man who is, threatened to be quote unquote demasculinized. How did they demasculinize you? They take your virility. How did they take our ancestors' virility? They castrated them. What are they doing to us these days? Chemically castrating us. They're castrating us through the media. They're buck breaking brothers and sisters. You seeing Nick Cannon get buck broken. You about to see the baby get buck broken. They're out here buck breaking a bunch of people. They're telling you that buck breaking is good for your health. They're telling you that it's good for your health. So he who, what do they say that? He who laughs last cries later, something like that. But niggas is getting the last laugh. Translation. Don't count yourself out. Don't ever look down on the underdogs. This is underdog season. Nothing is what it appears to be. If you're not standing on a solid foundation, you're not gonna make it. Straight like that. You might as well play. If you don't have a strong team, play this shit for solo. Don't be on some fake, fake kicking it is what the Dipset was trying to do. That's fake kicking it. It don't look right. It don't feel right. It's not cohesive. You niggas is tripping over each other. Fake kicking it ain't where it's at. If the lockdown ain't show you, if you niggas survive COVID just to go outside to fake kick it, you deserve everything that's coming to you. You know what I'm talking about? You deserve a variant or two. You know what I mean? If you went through the whole fucking lockdown, nigga, you couldn't sit on no niggas' laps. You niggas had yourselves to in some fucking CMOS and your faith to get you through last year. If you made it through that shit just to go around niggas to fake kick it and hold niggas fucking cigarettes, then y'all deserve everything that's coming to you. You know what I mean? Dipset, you gonna fly off the stage like Jimmy, nigga. When in Rome, be like Hannibal. You know, I was gonna give you the laws of Hannibal and all that, but the keynote didn't pop up. That's the ancestor telling me, yo, slow down. You giving them niggas too much on a Thursday. You know, don't blame me. That's the ancestors. You know, they working the boards. If you go into the hookah bar with your homegirl and you don't fuck with her like that, call a Uber. Because you could get washed just like the Dipset did at the hookah bar. There's lessons that's being thrown out of Madison Square Garden. Are you catching them? If you're not tight with that nigga, don't go to the day party with him. Fuck the fake kicking. It's family over everything. And if it's not family, then you just don't even, lock in. You don't even gotta go nowhere. D block, do your push-ups. You know what I mean? Make a smoothie or something. Stay with your fam. That's what the OGs are telling you. They got grown children. They've been doing something. Stay with your family, nigga. You ain't missing nothing. Get out of the way. Pop up and make classics, but stay out of the way. All of these niggas that be on the front and on the camera dancing in the videos, doing all of that extra shit. When this is not even, it's time to get low and you niggas is being extra. You backwards. And you late. You know what I'm talking about? Being outside was like 2015, 16, 17, 18. We in a whole nother era. Niggas is in the metaverse with Al G Rhythm. What you talking about? When being outside was outside, you niggas wasn't outside. What you talking about? You don't come late. You don't come to Amtrak after the train left and talk about what's going on in the quiet room. You don't have that right. Do you know what I'm talking about?
To this day.
These niggas is late to the party.
To this day.
And want to talk about outside and other things like, what are you talking about? We going to a new lockdown. What is it going to be about? They just passed the thing in New York City with the pass. As New York goes, so does the whole country. You don't know what you just saw. You don't know what they're showing you. You don't know where we're heading. Who's having a conversation, a real conversation, the grown-up conversation about, look, this is the real estate that I have available, or this is the estate that I have available, or this is the land that I'm cultivating. That conversation should be had right now these days, because who's going to wait if you wake up one day and they like, yo, all of the states are mandating that your seeds got to get the jab and whatnot. And there's no way. What are you finna do? You know what I mean? Like, that's not important. New York made it to where you can't go to the gym and you can't go and eat if you don't have a passport, nigga. To be honest with you, like I said, you don't got to fake kick it anyway. I was in Planet Fitness. They don't got no windows and niggas be in there with masks on working out. That's weirdo activity. So I don't, you know what I mean? Like I don't really even got to go inside of your restaurants because to be honest with you, the outdoor dining is kind of lit. Them niggas is out there building booths and whatnot. I'm good. But that is a form of early segregation. You niggas wanted to relive your slave experiences. Well, buckle up, nigga. You know what I'm talking about? Buckle up your Doc Martens because it's coming. They're gonna have you feeling what it felt like to be in segregation in a few months. So whatever states, I know Texas and Florida is talking greasy, but this is my thing of Hegelian dialect. They'll have everybody run to two states because those two states is like, yo, on my word, I'm signing legislation to make sure that the children are safe and da 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 da. And then everybody runs down there and then they just jam niggas and be like, yo, nah, my bad. We lost in Supreme Court. Yeah, y'all all got to get it. I don't trust these people. They playing a culling game right now. I've you know I've been the center of operations with these people. You know what I mean? I know how they move. It's a real slick operation going now, and they're gonna have your own people turning into Agent Smith. This is Matrix One. This is the scene in the Matrix where Neo is going through the motherfucking Matrix, and everybody's turning into Agent Smith. That's where it's at for those of you who decided to not play their game and whatnot. That's the scene in the Matrix that you find yourself in right now. Everybody's turning into Agent Smith. They're all gonna turn you in. They're all turning you in. They're seeding the they're seeding the quote unquote subconscious and the conscious mind, and they're deputizing the everyday citizen to carry out the mandates of the state, right? They're deputizing everybody to be agents of the state to carry out their mass mandates when they really pull the trigger and be like, yo, we want 100% vax. What are you going to do? What are you prepared to do? How are you going to deal with that? Niggas got imaginations. You have to put that one on the table. Even if you don't want to bring it to fruition, you still have to chart. You have to basically play it out like the game of chess. You got to make your moves and plan it ahead so it don't catch you off balance. Because if you don't understand, when New York City, the Empire State, right, the financial capital of the world, right, the entertainment, the media capital, it is the media capital of the world, and it's the financial, it is the Empire State, not just the home of hip hop. And the whole layout of the Lenape Hope, the Lenape Hoking land, New York is extremely significant. Manhattan, especially, being that it's all sitting on quartz, it's all quartz, piezoelectric quartz, right? It was sacred grounds. So they out there doing their rituals, putting shit forward. How are they doing it? Symbolically? New York was ground zero, was it not? New York was ground zero when the shit came to last year, when it first hit. Was it not? Did it not become ground zero? Which is ground zero, you know what I mean? Coincidentally, New York being ground zero, and it was ground zero for the quote unquote outbreak and laws and other things that in California from the West Coast as well. Henceforth, why you see California about to be the next state that's gonna make the mandates. They're gonna do the same thing that New York did. You see the governor moving and etching towards that. It's no coincidence that they have the governor of New York under criminal probe right now for sexual misconduct. The same day that they announced the quote unquote passes is the same day they announced that he wasn't playing hardball. He wasn't playing a fucking game with them. So they spanked him because de Blasio was up there. He was cooperating straight like that. That nigga was reading whatever script they gave him to read, and Cuomo was getting spanked. He was getting spanked. They probably had two outcomes for him. If you say yes, we walk out of here and say we did the investigation and didn't find nothing. If you say no, we finna fry you. And he probably said no. and they fried him because they wanted him to probably give up the whole city and do some crazy shit. I don't know how the way these people are moving, they moving wild militant. Them people in the white coats, they moving very military like in their agenda and their endeavors. Please believe that. They're not playing games. So they're adamant about having something taken. We just need to stay in touch. You know what I mean? We need to stay in touch. If you know, this coming together twice a week shit, you know what I mean? That's cute and everything, but we need to stay in touch. You know, like I said, I'm building an academy. I'm building my university. You know, the shit is gonna take a little while because I'm doing it all by myself, but it's coming together nicely. You know what I mean? It's coming together nicely. And you know, as you already know, these quote unquote that you know, these platforms is they're burning. The house is on fire already. The house is on fire. You think I'm gonna stand around in this house and try to go pop style? You know what I'm talking about? This ain't a housewarming, nigga. This is a house on fire. These platforms are scorching. Their censoring campaign and the people that they're targeting is becoming more precise by the day. The sentinels are coming. You know what I mean? The sentinels are coming. Yeah, RZA is on his like 7th page, my niggas. The sentinels are on there. They're coming, my nigga. Please believe it. You can't even find me on the gram. They got me on ghost status. You know what I'm talking about? You will never find out what I did last summer. They got your boy on Super Ghost, on Pat Swayze Ghost, nigga. I'm invisible. For real. But that's good. I don't want to be in the front. I don't want to be visible right now. Now is not the time to be all in niggas, all on the stage dancing on niggas' timelines. It's crazy out there. I'm chilling. I'm Gucci. You know what I mean? I got my mind and my peace of mind, you know, and I don't have to worry about all of the fuck shit that's going on. That's the bag right there. You know? That's the bag. You know? Being able to watch your child grow and being instrumental in that. That's the bag. Yeah, I seen RZA was on InfoWars. He was going in too, from what I saw. He was going in. Y'all send me an email, Red Pillar 75 Proton Mail. Any people that's interested in the earlier stages of the university and also Stream Chasers Academy. Stream Chasers Academy will be an online academy where we're going to be tapping into multiple income streams. We're going to be learning about multiple income streams. We're going to be tapping into multiple income streams. It doesn't matter if anybody, you could belong to 80 different organizations, academies, and all of the stuff that's out there. We're going to be different. We're going to be dealing with streams. We're going to help you put certain things in order because the way shit is going these days, you know, especially with this mandate of them trying to stop you from getting money and going into certain places, you already know that the next step that they're going to do is try to affect those of us who are out here getting to the bread if we don't play by their rules. So multiple income streams right now is a must. So the email is right there, redpillar75 at Proton Mail. Shout out to Styles P, Jadakiss, and the Locks for doing what they did, showing great craftsmanship, artsmen, you know, the display of art, bringing, you know, holding the culture up, which is very important for those of us who feel like we're vanguards to the original culture, that tunnel era, the MCing, the masters of the ceremony performing, hip hop and all of its elements, everything from the everything, every single part of it. Anybody that's there holding that up, all of you true MCs, you real MCs, you know, dedicated to your craft and whatnot, I salute you. You know, the gods of hip hop, God tier and whatnot, all of the God tier pins, salute you. All right. And we will be back on Monday. The link for the lecture, which is on August 19th, which is going to be When in Rome. I got special guests. We're going to blow this out of the water. The link is in the bio. It's right there in the description. All right. It's on Eventbrite. Hit the Cash App, leave a tip, hit the email, redpillar75 at Proton Mail. And Any question, comments, or concerns, you can hit the email. Business inquiries, hit the email. Brothers and sisters with merch, t-shirts, hats, and things of that nature, hit the email. Promoters that are out there that want to talk about any dates coming up, hit the email. And with that being said, love and light to the family. We out of here. Peace.